Eyes of the night. Adrian, young introvert with the only friend who always accompanies him. Your computer. One more of the thousands of young people, perhaps millions, who cannot adapt to the new times. He is the typical internet user addicted to social networks, from whom he shares his most intimate dreams with others like him. Network. That web of spider in which so many unsuspecting prisoners are paralyzed with the poison of disinformation. Recently he has contacted a boy, a relationship to which he feels a strong attraction. An attraction that makes you feel more alive, more important and more person. They exchange photos and videos always related to the UFO theme and mysterious stories. Streams of movie downloads are passed between them. To please each other, after 6 months, they finally decide to have a meeting to get to know each other live. Adrian feels very excited. Take a picture of your virtual friend in your wallet, the one you watch fascinated frequently. No wonder. The look is of a young man of about 19, blonde with light eyes that hypnotize everyone who looks at them. Very clear skin and strong complexion. Adrian does not know the name of his friend. He argues that he prefers to remain under a pseudonym, because he does not like to appear too much, following the advice of his parents. Adrian takes a flight from Madrid that takes him to the island of Gran Canaria, where his idealized companion resides. When arriving at the airport, his heart accelerates before the uncertainty. Someone from the other end of the terminal waves his arms to be seen among the crowd of travelers. When meeting, Adrian does not know if to shake his hand or to hug him. Everything is so new and exciting that it cannot express itself. He dries his sweaty hands on his jeans. He does not have time to do anything else to feel wrapped up in the arms of his mysterious friend, which after the warm reception, welcomes you to his beloved land of Gran Canaria. A luxurious car awaits you at the airport exit. Adrian is pleasantly surprised to see how well his handsome partner is doing. The trip is about 40 minutes, during which Adrian tries to break the ice of his shyness, and asks the young driver by name. He looks at you from clear, mysterious and disturbing eyes, and at the same time attractive and exciting. Call me friend. Simply friend. That will suffice. Adrian is not completely surprised when he looks at his partner, bearing in mind that there are many blonde canaries with blue eyes as his friend. Still, he sees him as very special. Time seems to have stopped for Adrian. He liked the welcome, the style and the kindness of the Canarian friend. At last they arrive at the host's address, a dazzling mansion on the top of the island, in a place called Tejeda. They come out to welcome you as if they were one of the family. They invite you to enter, showing an exaggerated kindness. Each of the family overwhelms him with hugs. The sister of the cybernaut friend lends to carry the suitcase to the interior of the house, with a force for a girl out of the ordinary. Little by little, Adrian adapts to his new surroundings. His friend's sister takes him by the hand and shows him the house inside and outside. You have a very nice house, Adrian tells the girl. He does not dare to ask his name, and they continue with the reconnaissance route. Everything you see around you is perfectly in place, as if a professional decorator had intervened. A photo of one of the living room furniture catches his attention. He approaches to see what appears to be a group of Nordic-looking people, all very serious. Adrian reaches out to take a look, but the father appears behind him and removes it from his hands by turning her face down. It's time to eat, he says, showing a forced smile. The daughter catches him again and lets him jumping up to the dining room. Everything is ready on the table, looks very good and smells good. After eating, the parents retire to the floor above to take a nap. The two companions prefer to go out and explore the landscape, because it has much to teach him. The sister insists on going with them, but her brother sends her home. They approach a very popular rock formation on the island called Roque Nublo. After having an interesting tour of the area, they return home, and after dinner they retire to their rooms. The friend leads Adrian to the room they have prepared for him. Very spacious and cozy. The two sit on the bed and chat for a while. Then he says goodbye to Adrian, reminding him that the next day they will camp inside the crater called the Caldera de Bandama. As planned, the two young men prepare everything necessary for adventure. They load everything in the vehicle, and they leave. They approach to the possible limit to arrive by car. Soon, very equipped with everything necessary for a camping, they arrive until the same edge of the crater. The sun kisses the mountains before saying goodbye. They begin the descent by an area with a slope of 40%, covered with a few small black pebbles very abundant in the craters of the Canaries that they call Picone. The two of them slide rolling with joy between the stones until they reach the bottom of the crater. Choose the best place to install the store. While they are doing it, the shepherd who lives taking care of a herd of goats in the same caldera approaches them. You cannot camp here, he tells them. Adrian's friend stares at him, and suddenly the pastor looks horrified and runs off urinating on his pants. Goats also stampede everywhere. No problem. Let's continue with what is ours, the young canary man says, smiling. He starts to make a fire, although Adrian says it is not a good idea, since it is forbidden to make a fire in the forest. Let them come to prevent me if they dare, he replies. They go for dinner before going to bed. Adrian eats a piece of blood sausage that the friend has previously roasted at the stake, albeit reluctantly. With so many emotions, he has lost his appetite. Then they decide to go to sleep. The wind rises above the crater, but at the bottom of the crater, it becomes a very pleasant breeze. Adrian is already holstered in his sleeping bag. Your friend prefers to be outside. They remain silent in the midst of an uncomfortable silence that is only broken by the spaced bleating of the goats, already collected in the fold. Adrian takes his head out of the store to contemplate the immensity of the cosmos. Well, you're logged into a group of astronomers. He has always been fascinated by the theme of stars, and now has the opportunity to see them in a clean and pollution-free sky. His partner joins the show, pulls his blonde head out of the store and stands very close to his friend. He smiles at her and kisses her on the mouth. He tells him later that he also likes the night, darkness. I like the universe free of stars, planets and everything that can tear its satiny black and empty mantle. I want to take you there if you wish, he tells him. Adrian is mute and bewildered. The companion approaches him to give him another kiss, but this time full of fear and disgust rejects him. This does not please the canary, who holds him tightly, imprisoning him in his own sack. You have to come with me to my world, the friend or enemy shouts imperatively in this case. It's about Adrian. He cannot move. He feels paralyzed, not by the confinement of the sack, but by an immense terror that runs through his entire being. The blonde kisses him again, pouring a black slime that contrasts with the extreme pallor of his face. The moon clearly illuminates the face of the canary. His eyes are now dark, like two pieces of obsidian, which show absolute nothingness, a universe void of all vestige of light, which struggles to exist at the expense of the terror of living beings like Adrian. The boy's consciousness merges into endless blackness, full of beings that swim in an ocean of limitless terror. His entity as a human is about to melt like a piece of butter inside a black sun. Then, making a superhuman effort, and using the great will he has always had, brings to mind the most intense moments of happiness and love lived with his family, especially with his little sister Rocchio, whom she loves with all her soul. At that precise moment, a very dim light appears almost on the other side of the black cloak of darkness. He puts all his concentration in that tiny flash and notes how a great energy invades him. A force arms its arms and throws the spawn away from it. He leaves the sack like lightning and runs up the slope to get safe, taking out extra strength to desperately climb one of the closest sides of the crater. The volcanic gravel makes it slide down, but does not stop and continues to climb, helping in the bushes and on the outgoing rocks. At last he manages to reach the edge, run endlessly on the path that brought them to the caldera. He reaches his friend's car, and passes by until road. In the distance you can see the lights of a car approaching. He is centered in the middle of the highway, waving his arms to see him and stop. He rushes to the driver's window to ask for help. The vehicle stops and a young blonde with a crouching face comes out. "Go up to the car," he says. "We will take you home." When Adrian is about to enter, he recognizes with horror that it is the family of the dark friend he has left behind. The girl throws a sinister look from a pair of eyes black as night. He takes hold of his shirt and pulls him with intention to put him in the vehicle. The parents smile complacently, making the glint of the moon shine in their black eyes. Adrian gets rid of the girl, but this one grabs him again, this time with more strength. He punches him in the face and releases him. He emerges in a bar towards a distant road bar about 100 meters away, with the intention of asking for help. When he arrives, he realizes that the place is closed. Keep running down the road and get very excited. A group of neighbors taking the call. "Please, help me." He begs them through tears of terror and despair. "They want to hurt me." The locals are surprised without knowing what to think. A young man of about 30 years old leaves the interior of one of the portals and asks the boy to calm down. That explains what happens. At that precise moment, the car of the family of evil stops in front of the group. The father appears before them and tells them that he is his son, that he has run away from home and had been looking for him, very worried, that is under the drugs and it is dangerous that it is loose at this time of night. Then, the waiter who had just appeared, thinking of the good of the horrified kid, grabbed him tightly to hand him over to the supposed father. It is about to fall into its clutches, when the individual holding Adrian is hit by the black gaze of the supposed family. Without a word, he releases the boy and runs to his house, closing the door. There are horrifying laughter that ends up scare the others, who also run to their homes. The boy is left alone and helpless. You hear the noise of the last bus that goes down to the center of Las Palmas. He does not think about it. Frantic race to the stop, located about 30 meters downhill. The bus arrives before him, but awaits the young man. He rushes up and sits with his heart about to explode. When he arrives at Las Palmas, he does not even think about staying overnight. Call by mobile asking for a taxi to take you directly to the airport. He does not call his parents not to worry them. When he gets home he will tell you everything. Or maybe not, because they would not believe him. And quieter, manages to sleep for the rest of the flight. The plane announces the approach to its destination. A stewardess touches him on one shoulder to wake him up. He looks at her and thinks he's in the middle of a nightmare. It is the face of the mother of his fatal friend, who looks at him smiling behind totally black eyes. Black eyes of night that steal your soul.